So that's this first example that we've gone through. Let's go through the next example. Now, this next example is where they ask us to round the answer down to 2 decimal places. Usually when you put your numbers into your calculator, it's not going to give you an exact square number. Sometimes it's going to be it's a weird number with weird decimal places. So let's have a go using the exact same steps for this triangle here. First, I'm going to just check that I am in fact missing a hypotenuse opposite the square, the 90-degree square angle, right angle, and I've got my missing side C. Okay, cool. So I've got C. First step, I'm just going to write the equation. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. The next step is I'm going to identify my 2 shorter sides. So I've got my 2 shorter sides, 7 and 9.5. I don't care which one is A, which one is B. I could go A is equal to 9, B is equal to 7. And I'm going to substitute those values in. So here I'm going to go, it's 9.5, my bad. So I've got 9.5 squared plus 7 squared. So that's the second step. I substitute those values in. Now that I've done that, I'm going to square them and add them together. Now, here, if you're doing this in your calculator, you don't need to write the individual step where you get the values of each of those squares in. What you can do is you can just go, okay, 9.5 squared plus 7 squared is equal to, well, I've got my number here, 139.25. I'm just going to write my C squared again. So that's my third step. I square the numbers and I add them together. Now that I've done that, the final step that I need to do is I'm not looking for C squared. I'm just looking for C. So what do I need to do? I need to take the square root. I'm just going to write the square root step just to show that I'm doing that. I'm going to square root it. And so I've got, that's not what I want. Square root 139.25 is equal to 11.8004. So I've got 42372. Okay. Now if you have a look here, we've got this answer for C. But if you have a look at what the question is asking us for, we want the answer to 2 decimal places. If you have a look, rounding to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to have a look at my number. I've got 11.800. I'm going to look at the second decimal place, which is 0. I'm going to look at the next number, 0. I round down, so I don't change the number. So here I've got 11.80, and that's to 2 decimal places. Okay, and that's my final answer for this one here. So here, sometimes the answer will ask you to round it to a certain number of decimal places. All you need to do, chuck your answer in your calculator, same steps that we did before, but then you just look at, okay, 2 decimal places, I'm going to go to look at, and I round it off at that point. Okay, so that's the second example here for using Pythagoras' theorem to help us find the missing hypotenuse.